Why are you here? You're here because you want to understand your chronic fatigue and the connection to anxiety more deeply. You want to understand why the brain fog won't leave. You want to understand why it's so difficult to do the simplest things. You want to understand why you have so much indecision anxiety. Today, we are diving deep into the connection between chronic fatigue syndrome and anxiety. Let's go. My peaceful warriors, I welcome you to another important video on my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the bell for all the notifications. And if you want to learn more about any of my anxiety recovery programs, click here at any point in the video. Dennis, what are we doing today? Well, today we are diving into a subject that is very misunderstood. Number one, doesn't get talked about enough. Number two, and if you go to any physician, any doctor in the world, they'll look at you like this when you say you have chronic fatigue. And you're going to leave thinking that this mysterious illness is something that you will never be able to overcome because nobody, even the physicians, don't understand it. So today we're diving deep, and the way we're going to dive deep is I'm going to share with you some of my personal experiences. I'm going to share with you the things that you must focus on and understand to not manage this, but to recover from it. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to give you some practical insights that you can apply starting today to eliminate chronic fatigue syndrome as quickly as possible. So my friends, coming from my own experience with this, what kept me suffering was thinking I had separate problems for separate symptoms. Isn't this so important? Isn't it everything? Symptom here, symptom there, sensation here, sensation there. New one popping up there, one getting stronger there, traveling around my body, creating more confusion, sometimes neurological, sometimes physical in nature. But I felt like I had all these problems, right? Potentially around 100 of them because I had so many symptoms. And what was important for me to understand back then is that I didn't have 100 problems. I didn't have a problem for each symptom. I had one problem. I had one challenge because all of these symptoms were coming from the same place. A hypersensitive nervous system. And I want you to write that word down, a hypersensitive nervous system, because it does help us understand this more deeply because not all nervous systems are the same. You're walking around going, oh, why is Joe able to go to the movies and he's able to be so social with other people and he thinks so clearly and all these things and he's getting the job done so effortlessly? Why, Joe, why? And that just brings up more bewilderment and victimhood. Your nervous system is not the same as the next person. And you've been living your life thinking that you can live your life the same way Joe is, only to be disappointed very soon after, when in reality, you have to live your life differently because you have a different nervous system than others. Understand that your symptoms are trying to limit you, not hurt you. When it comes to chronic fatigue syndrome, it's very common to think that these symptoms are there to cause more pain, to cause more disability, okay? They are not. They're there in truth and at the root to try to limit you. They're going, please don't go see your family for that dinner, right? Because in the past, you've been so disappointed by your family members. I mean, think about the unconditional love that comes from these symptoms that you're experiencing on a regular basis. So they're trying to limit you, not hurt you. Understand how your emotions and perceptions are dictated by CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome. Your perceptions are colored by this, okay? Your emotions are colored by this. So when you're going about your day thinking, why do I think that way? You're not actually thinking that way, right? You are, in essence, you've got a pair of glasses on, right? And they say chronic fatigue syndrome, and everything that you see, everything that you hear, everything that you feel, everything that you taste and smell comes from this particular underlying challenge. So you're not really perceiving correctly. You're not really feeling correctly. Your emotional state is not really correct, right? This isn't you at an identity level. It's not you. Your world is being colored by chronic fatigue syndrome, which goes hand in hand with anxiety disorders. Now, do you understand that? And can you begin to see beyond those initial perceptions, beyond those emotions, going, oh, I know where this is coming from, right? Instead of going, oh, why am I so like this? You see the difference? I want you to start making peace with all your symptoms. Surrender sessions are part of the key, part of the journey. Making peace with all your symptoms, going, oh, all these symptoms are coming from the same place. And when we make peace with our symptoms, we make peace with peace. Many times what happens is when we start to feel like we're moving from a sympathetic system to a parasympathetic, finding that balance, bringing some degree of ease and activity to our day, we start to become afraid because a part of us is very comfortable in that place of suffering. So we must understand that starting today, I make peace with all of my symptoms, past, present, future. No matter what happens in my body and no matter what the result is of the underlying chronic fatigue, the underlying anxiety, the underlying traumas that I'm carrying in my body, no matter what the effect, therefore the symptom is, I make peace with all of them. I now realize I no longer have to be afraid of them. I do need to start working with them though. Understand the importance of responding to situations and environments if you have chronic fatigue syndrome, right? You have to become bendy. What's that word? Bendy. What I mean is that when something hits you hard, for example, a simple text message can make us bedridden. A simple text message from a family member, a friend, an acquaintance, someone you haven't heard in a while, right? That is saying something that at a nervous system level feels so threatening, right? And you're going, in that, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this, right? In that very moment, again, you're not perceiving and feeling correctly. You're perceiving and feeling from the perspectives of the chronic fatigue syndrome. So understand that you have to be bendy. When you get that text message, yeah, you may fall, but then you must get back up. Yes, something may happen, right? You may become symptomatic or experience a crash. Yes, you fall, but you must get back up, okay? Understanding that you are not in any kind of physical danger. Okay, and if you understand deeply that you're not in any kind of physical danger, you will no longer catastrophize based on the crash that you experienced, based on what's taking place. This is very, very important. And my final reminder for you here is recognize the emotional weight that you're carrying in your body due to suppressed feelings. The healthiest people in the world are the most expressive. Okay, so if you're trying to live like a monk, trying to suppress your feelings and emotions, and always trying to be so meditative, all you're really doing is suppressing the anger, suppressing the fear. Then that doesn't mean you have to go around and become a victim and start talking about it no matter where you are. No, it doesn't mean that, right? But it just means that you have to be true to yourself. You have to be true to your emotions. You have to be true to what you feel. And there will be times when you must speak up. Speak up, and that feels like you're outside of your comfort zone. So understand that you are carrying emotional weight based on past experiences, unforgiveness, these sorts of things, okay? Those are some of the things I want you to remember with chronic fatigue syndrome, and we're going to get into the practicals now. So what do we start doing, Dennis? Okay, before we get into what we start doing, I want you to comment below on your deepest, more than anxiety moment from what I just mentioned. I'll wait. Okay, good. Now, what do we do? There's a lot we can do, right? In essence, we want to start proving safety to our nervous system, no matter the situation or event. We want to start calming the nervous system, okay? The first thing I want you to do is make a list of stressors in your life. Okay, make a list of stressors. Now this means mental stressors, emotional stressors, physical stressors. If you're going and playing tennis for 3 hours a day and feeling absolutely tarnished after, achy pain for the next 3-4 days, your body is trying to tell you to stop playing so much tennis or to play it differently. Okay, you're not a Ferrari anymore. You're a Honda Civic. Okay, and because you're a Honda Civic, you must understand that your approach to life must be different now. Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, that was my first car. Doesn't matter to me, but you understand the metaphor. Okay, so make a list of stressors in your life. Things that you're over worrying about, financial stressors, trying to please your parents all the time, worrying about sensations and symptoms, physical things like taking on too many tasks, overdoing it with exercise, these sorts of things. Okay, that's the first thing I want you to do. Second, I want you to bring with you a daily mindful journal to track your emotional and physical responses to your environments and the situations you go through. So you got this little journal, right? And you're going about the day quite pleasantly. Everything is pretty neutral. I mean, yeah, you got sensations and symptoms. Yes, those are going to be there, okay? So you don't have to cling to those things. They're just going to be there in the background, okay? That's fine. But when things start to escalate, when your dizziness gets worse, when you feel like you're starting to become very tired and fatigued, when you feel like you're over sweating in certain situations, it's important that you write that down in your mindful journey to recognize in what situation or event does my nervous system feel extra sensitized towards. Okay, this is key because now you're paying attention to this, which means that when you enter into those situations, it must be different than the way it used to be. Meaning your mindset going into that experience must be different. Right? You're not trying to bulldoze through the experience, you're going through it slowly, lightly, going, hey, nervous system, see, we are in a safe place. You're expressing yourself, you're taking deep breaths, you're not focusing on one thing, but you're going, oh, look at all the beautiful things within this environment, right? So this mindful journal, when you bring it with you regularly, will create a ton of insights for you. With awareness comes insights, and the only way to become aware for this particular situation is through the mindful journal, okay? Thirdly, I want you to practice intentional yawning. Don't wait till 10 p.m., 11 p.m. to start yawning and your body giving you the signal that, hey, it's time to go to sleep now. Practice intentional yawning because this sends the signal that we can activate the parasympathetic system within this particular experience. Now, people are going to go, oh man, did you get any sleep last night? And to you, you're just going, well, yeah, I could answer that truthfully, but I don't really care because I'm on a mission to heal my nervous system, right? And to bring calm and safety to it. Therefore, I'm practicing intentional yawning throughout the day. This is a beautiful habit. It really is. And it really is a nervous system hack. You're hacking your nervous system by practicing intentional yawning throughout the day. And with these particular things that I'm giving you, make sure that you give it enough time and repetition, because every nervous system is different in repetition. Some will accept things more quickly than others. For you, if you've been suffering with anxiety disorders, past trauma, chronic fatigue syndrome for some time, it's going to take some time before your system readjusts itself, okay? So practice intentional yawning. And finally, practically, I want you to do this. This is going to be interesting. Do absolutely nothing more often. What are you talking about, right? Well, here's why. Because you're a doer, okay? You're stuck in doership. And you feel like the more you do, the more benefit you're going to gain. The more you do, the quicker the reward is going to come to you, right? No, look at you, right? Now it's not working, okay? So do absolutely nothing more often. What this does is safety. What this does is it brings a sense of calm, and it brings a sense of mental clarity to your day. No longer are you thinking and perceiving and feeling from the perspectives of chronic fatigue syndrome, okay? When you're doing absolutely nothing more often, feeling like you're daydreaming sometimes, that's a very calming response to the particular experience, okay? So I know you're a doer. I used to be stuck in doership as well, and being stuck in doership is being stuck in the addiction to suffering, because you always feel like you're going to find the answer, but it's never there. So do absolutely nothing more often, and this is going to benefit you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, my friends, okay? Now, it's your turn. I want you to comment below on your biggest more than anxiety moment from all the things I discussed today in relation to chronic fatigue syndrome, okay? And I'd love to hear your own experience with this. If you know somebody or a group or a forum that's going through this, share this video with them, because it's very, very insightful. It's very inspiring. And of course, if you want to learn more about any of my recovery programs, click right here. And remember that you are more than anxiety, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.